Have you ever wondered why so many people, as they get older, seem to hit a wall right around their 80th birthday? It's a statistic that often goes unsaid. But the truth is, a surprising number of individuals don't make it much past that milestone. We often think of aging as a natural decline, and in many ways it is. But what if there were underlying reasons, often overlooked, that contribute to this unfortunate reality? What if there were habits, subtle choices we make, that silently chip away at our longevity and vitality, preventing us from truly living our golden years to their fullest, vibrant potential? It can feel like a painful reality for families, watching loved ones decline faster than expected, or perhaps even experiencing it yourself. The secret to pushing past that invisible barrier, to not just adding years to your life, but life to your years, often lies not in complex medical interventions, but in understanding some surprising factors that are completely within your control. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 often overlooked, surprising reasons why most seniors don't live past 80, and more importantly, what you can do about each one. We'll look at simple, actionable changes that can help you reclaim your energy, sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, and truly enjoy the decades ahead. So, stay with me, because if you watch to the end, I promise there's something that will truly surprise you about living a longer, healthier life. Let's start by diving into the very first reason, one that might seem a little unexpected, but is profoundly impactful on our overall health and lifespan: the silent drain of chronic low-grade inflammation. Now, when I say inflammation, you might think of a swollen ankle after a sprain, or redness around a cut. That's acute inflammation, your body's immediate response to protect and heal. But chronic low-grade inflammation is different. Imagine your body's alarm system is stuck on a low hum, always buzzing in the background. It's not a full-blown fire, but a persistent smoldering that slowly, subtly, causes damage over time. This kind of inflammation doesn't necessarily cause pain you can point to. It works silently, beneath the surface. It is, however, linked to almost every age-related disease you can think of: heart disease, Alzheimer's, various forms of arthritis, certain cancers, and even general fatigue and brain fog. It accelerates aging from the inside out, making your body feel and function older than it should. So, what causes this insidious internal fire? A lot of it comes down to our modern diet and lifestyle. Think of processed foods, loaded with sugar and refined carbohydrates like white bread and pastries. These foods spike your blood sugar rapidly, and that surge can trigger inflammatory responses. Unhealthy fats, particularly trans fats found in many baked goods and fried items, and an excessive amount of omega-6 fatty acids found in some vegetable oils, can also fuel this fire. Beyond diet, chronic stress, insufficient sleep, and a lack of physical activity all contribute to keeping that inflammatory hum going. It's like a constant low-level attack on your cells and tissues. The good news is, you have incredible power to put out these small fires. One of the best ways is to shift your plate towards anti-inflammatory foods. Think of vibrant berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, packed with antioxidants. Load up on leafy greens like spinach and kale. Incorporate fatty fish such as salmon and mackerel a couple of times a week, as they're rich in omega-3s, which are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. Nuts, seeds, and a good quality extra virgin olive oil are also fantastic. Spices like turmeric and ginger have well-known anti-inflammatory properties too. Beyond food, simply drinking enough water throughout the day helps your body flush out toxins. And remember, managing stress through deep breathing or gentle movement can also calm your system. Think of your body like a well-oiled machine. If there's constant friction or tiny little sparks going off inside, over time, it's going to wear down much faster than if it's running smoothly. That's what chronic inflammation does. But you hold the extinguisher. Now, closely linked to how our bodies function at a cellular level, and often overlooked in its profound impact on longevity, is the surprisingly potent effect of muscle loss, or sarcopenia, and the lack of purposeful movement. Sarcopenia is a natural, age-related loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. It begins gradually in our 30s but accelerates significantly after 60, especially if we're not actively working to prevent it. But why is this so critical to living past 80? Well, the consequences of sarcopenia are far-reaching and can drastically impact your quality of life and even your lifespan. Firstly, and perhaps most visibly, is the increased risk of falls. Weak muscles, particularly in your legs and core, lead to poor balance and coordination. A fall in later life can lead to fractures, hospital stays, and a significant decline in independence. It's one of the leading causes of injury and disability in older adults, and it's directly linked to muscle weakness. Secondly, muscle is metabolically active tissue. It burns more calories than fat, even at rest. As you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain weight, particularly fat. This can lead to insulin resistance, increasing your risk for type 2 diabetes and other metabolic issues. Thirdly, and perhaps most heartbreakingly, is the loss of independence. Simple tasks we take for granted, opening a jar, getting up from a low chair, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, all become increasingly difficult or even impossible without adequate muscle strength. This can lead to a reliance on others and a diminished sense of self-reliance, which profoundly impacts mental well-being. Finally, muscles pull on bones, stimulating bone growth and maintaining bone density. Less muscle activity means weaker bones, increasing the risk of osteoporosis and fractures. The beautiful truth here is that muscle is incredibly adaptable. No matter your age, you can absolutely rebuild and strengthen your muscles well into your 80s and beyond. The key is resistance training. You don't need to become a bodybuilder lifting light weights, using resistance bands, or even just using your own body weight for exercises like chair squats or wall push-ups can make a huge difference. Start small, be consistent, and gradually increase the intensity as you get stronger. Aim for 2 to 3 sessions a week. Alongside this, ensuring you get enough protein in your diet is essential for muscle repair and growth. Lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, beans, and lentils are excellent sources. Don't forget the importance of daily movement beyond structured exercise. Gardening, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, dancing to your favorite music, or even just doing movement snacks, short bursts of activity throughout the day, all contribute to keeping your muscles engaged and vital. It's not just about looking strong, it's about staying capable. Imagine trying to get up from your favorite armchair without using your hands. That's a basic test of leg strength. Many older adults struggle with this, and it's a direct consequence of muscle loss. But the good news is, muscle is one of the most adaptable tissues in our body. No matter your age, the choice to move and strengthen your body is a choice for independence and vitality. These first two reasons, the quiet erosion of chronic inflammation and the diminishing power of our muscles, work hand in hand to accelerate aging. But there are other critical pieces to this puzzle, and the next one might surprise you even more, as it touches on something deeply human and essential for our well-being. We've talked about the internal battle against inflammation and the importance of keeping our muscles strong. Now, let's turn our attention to something that often gets overlooked in the pursuit of physical health, yet holds immense power over our longevity and quality of life: the surprising impact of social isolation and a fading sense of purpose. Social isolation isn't just about being alone. It's about feeling alone or disconnected, even when surrounded by others. For many seniors, retirement can mean a sudden loss of daily social interaction, a diminished sense of professional identity, and fewer opportunities for engagement. The loss of loved ones, reduced mobility, or simply a shrinking social circle can lead to a quiet, insidious loneliness that chips away at one's well-being. And hand in hand with this can be a fading sense of purpose, that feeling of having something meaningful to contribute, a reason to get out of bed in the morning, a goal to work towards. The repercussions of this are profound, impacting both our mental and physical health. On the mental side, prolonged social isolation is a major risk factor for depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. Our brains thrive on stimulation and connection. They need interaction, conversation, and learning from others to stay sharp. When that connection is lost, the mind can become sluggish and more vulnerable to conditions like dementia. But it's not just mental. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness and isolation can be as detrimental to your physical health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day or being obese. It elevates stress hormones, which contribute to inflammation. As we discussed earlier, it can weaken the immune system, making you more susceptible to illness, and even increase your risk of heart disease and stroke. When you feel disconnected, or that your life lacks meaning, you're also less likely to be motivated to take care of yourself, to eat well, exercise, or seek medical attention when needed. It creates a downward spiral. The solution lies in actively prioritizing connection and cultivating new sources of purpose. Make a conscious effort to reach out to friends and family regularly, whether by phone, video call, or in person. Consider joining clubs or groups that align with your interests. A book club, a walking group, a gardening club, or even a local community center offering classes. Volunteering is a phenomenal way to find purpose and connect with others who share your values. It gives you a sense of contribution and can introduce you to entirely new social circles. Finding a new purpose doesn't have to be grand. It could be anything that gives your day meaning. Learning a new skill, starting a creative project, mentoring someone, caring for a pet, or simply dedicating time to being an engaged grandparent. Stay engaged with the world around you by reading, discussing current events, or even taking an online course. Think about those vibrant individuals you know who are well into their 80s or 90s. More often than not, they are incredibly connected, curious, and involved in life. They might be volunteering at the local library, teaching a craft class, or simply enjoying lively conversations with their neighbors. They have a reason to get out of bed, a reason to engage. It's like a garden. If left untended, it wilts. Our minds and spirits are the same. Nurturing these connections and finding your unique purpose is not just about feeling good. It's about adding years of vibrant life, while staying connected and purposeful nourishes our minds and hearts. There's another crucial element that directly impacts every cell in our body. Often underestimated in its power, the profound effect of poor sleep quality. Many people, as they age, believe that needing less sleep is a normal part of getting older. But this is a common myth. While the architecture of our sleep might change slightly, our fundamental need for quality, restorative sleep remains constant. The problem isn't necessarily getting fewer hours, but rather that the sleep we do get isn't deep or continuous enough. We might wake up frequently, spend too much time in light sleep, or struggle to fall asleep in the first place. This chronic lack of quality sleep has staggering implications for our longevity and overall health. Firstly, and perhaps most frighteningly, is its impact on cognitive decline. During deep sleep, our brains literally clean themselves, flushing out metabolic waste products and toxins, including those linked to Alzheimer's disease. When this crucial nightly cleansing doesn't happen effectively, memory problems, difficulty concentrating, and an increased risk of cognitive impairment can result. It's like trying to run a computer that never gets shut down. Eventually, it will slow down and glitch. Secondly, sleep is when our bodies do their most important repair work. Muscles recover from the day's activity, hormones rebalance, and our immune system strengthens itself. Chronic sleep deprivation impairs immune function, making us more susceptible to infections. It also increases inflammation and can even affect appetite-regulating hormones, making weight management more challenging. Thirdly, poor sleep profoundly impacts our mood, leading to irritability, anxiety, and even exacerbating feelings of depression. And finally, fatigue and poor concentration due to lack of sleep significantly increase the risk of falls and other accidents, which can have devastating consequences for older adults. The good news is that there are many simple strategies to improve your sleep quality. The most impactful is establishing a consistent sleep schedule. Try to go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's natural circadian rhythm. Create a relaxing bedtime routine to signal to your body that it's time to wind down. A warm bath, reading a calming book, gentle stretching, or listening to quiet music can be wonderful. Optimize your sleep environment by making your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. Avoid screens, phones, tablets, TVs for at least an hour before bed, as the blue light they emit can disrupt your body's production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Limit caffeine and alcohol, especially later in the day, as both can interfere with sleep. And remember that regular physical activity during the day can greatly improve sleep quality. Just be sure not to exercise too close to bedtime. Many people think needing less sleep is a normal part of aging, but that's a myth. Our need for quality sleep remains constant. Imagine trying to drive a car that hasn't had an oil change in years. It might run, but it's not going to perform well and it's going to wear down much faster. Our bodies and brains are similar. They need that nightly reset to operate optimally. Prioritizing your sleep is one of the most powerful gifts you can give your longevity. We've seen how profound the impact of inflammation, muscle health, social connection, and quality sleep are. But there's one final, often invisible, culprit that undermines our longevity and vibrancy. One that we all face daily but rarely manage effectively: the surprising burden of unmanaged chronic stress and a negative mindset. It's easy to think of stress as big, traumatic events. But for many seniors, it's the accumulation of daily worries, concerns about health, finances, family, the future, or even just the daily grind of small frustrations. When this stress is persistent and unmanaged, and when it's coupled with a generally pessimistic or negative outlook, it can have devastating effects on our bodies and minds, accelerating the aging process at a cellular level. When your body is constantly in fight or flight mode due to chronic stress, it produces elevated levels of stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, high cortisol levels can damage your arteries, suppress your immune system, contribute to the very inflammation we discussed earlier, increase blood pressure, and negatively impact your digestion. It literally wears down your internal systems faster, making you more susceptible to disease and accelerating physical aging. Beyond the physical, chronic stress impairs cognitive function, making it harder to concentrate, remember things, and make clear decisions. It also exacerbates mental health issues like depression and anxiety. A negative mindset compounds this. If you constantly focus on problems, fears, and perceived shortcomings, your brain is wired for negativity, and your body responds in kind, leading to higher stress levels and poorer health outcomes. It can also lead to poor coping mechanisms, overeating, reduced physical activity, or disturbed sleep, which create a vicious cycle. The good news is that we have a remarkable capacity to manage our response to stress and cultivate a more positive mindset. Regardless of our circumstances, mindfulness and meditation are incredibly powerful tools. Even just a few minutes a day of focused breathing can help calm your nervous system and rewire your brain to be less reactive to stressors. Simple, deep breathing exercises, done consistently, can make a profound difference. Practice gratitude daily, actively looking for things, however small, to be thankful for can shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. Consider keeping a gratitude journal. It's also important to limit your exposure to overly negative inputs, whether it's constant negative news or spending too much time with people who drain your energy. Instead, seek out positive influences. Find healthy coping mechanisms that truly work for you, like engaging in a beloved hobby, spending time in nature, enjoying gentle exercise, talking to trusted friends or a therapist, or even just having a good laugh. Learn to reframe challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable problems, try to view them as opportunities for growth, learning, or problem solving. This doesn't mean ignoring reality, but rather choosing how you approach it. Think of your mind as a garden. If you constantly plant weeds of worry, fear, and negativity, that's what will grow. But if you intentionally plant seeds of gratitude, hope, and resilience, your garden will flourish. The human body is remarkably resilient, but relentless stress is like a constant drip. Drip. Drip that eventually wears down the strongest stone. Actively managing your stress and cultivating a positive mindset is one of the most proactive steps you can take to reclaim your vitality and live a longer, healthier life. These 5 reasons, chronic inflammation, muscle loss, social isolation, poor sleep, and unmanaged stress, individually contribute to a shorter, less vibrant life, but together, they form a powerful combination that subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, accelerates aging. So, what now? We've talked about these surprising obstacles, but here's the beautiful truth: every single one of them can be addressed, often with simple, consistent effort. We've explored how seemingly invisible forces like a low-grade internal fire of inflammation, the gradual weakening of our body's powerhouses, our muscles, the quiet ache of disconnection and loss of purpose, the pervasive exhaustion from disturbed sleep, and the relentless pressure from unmanaged worries, can all collectively chip away at our health and vitality, making that 80-year mark seem like an arbitrary, yet often reached, ceiling. But I want you to remember that these aren't unavoidable fates. They are areas where you hold incredible power to make a difference. Consider what we've discussed by making mindful choices about what we put into our bodies, favoring foods that calm inflammation rather than fuel it. We lay a foundation for health that ripples through every system by dedicating just a little time to purposeful movement and strength building. Nurturing our muscles, we don't just prevent falls, we boost our metabolism, protect our bones, and maintain the very independence that makes life so rich and fulfilling. And then there's the profound nourishment that comes from truly connecting with others, finding that vital spark of purpose that lights up our days, giving us a reason to engage with the world beyond our own front door. We've also highlighted the non-negotiable importance of truly restorative sleep, recognizing it not as a luxury, but as the fundamental nightly reset button for both our bodies and our minds, allowing our brains to clear the day's clutter and our bodies to repair and rejuvenate. Finally, we tackled the silent aggressor of chronic stress, understanding that while life will always present challenges, our mindset and our ability to consciously manage that internal pressure can literally change our biological age. It's about cultivating resilience, finding gratitude, and actively choosing a perspective that serves your well-being, rather than drains it. Remember, the journey to a longer, more vibrant life isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Even the smallest, most consistent changes can create a ripple effect that builds momentum. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with one thing, perhaps adding more berries to your breakfast, or taking a short walk every day, or consciously reaching out to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Each little step is a victory, a powerful declaration that you are choosing to live fully. No matter your age, your body and mind are incredibly adaptable, and they are always ready to respond positively to your efforts. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and then taking compassionate, consistent action. I truly hope this conversation has given you a fresh perspective on what truly influences our lifespan and our health as we age. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have any of these reasons resonated with you? What small changes are you considering making? Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your wisdom could inspire someone else on their journey. If you found this video helpful and uplifting, please give it a thumbs up. That tells me you appreciate this kind of content and helps more people discover it. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. We're always here sharing practical, easy to understand advice to help you navigate your later years with confidence, joy, and incredible vitality. Because ultimately, living past 80 isn't just about adding years. It's about making those years count. It's about experiencing the fullness of life, creating new memories, enjoying your loved ones, and feeling truly alive, vibrant, and capable. Well into your golden decades, you have so much life left to live, so much wisdom to share, and so much joy to experience. Don't let these subtle saboteurs steal your precious years. Embrace these insights, make those empowering choices, and live your best life at every age, defying expectations and setting a magnificent example for generations to come. You deserve every moment of a long, healthy, and happy life.